get all my things arranged. Kind of the same setup every time. Things don't grow that quickly. Cilantro needs to be harvested. That's what we got here. Garlic. There's garlic here. Beets. Beets and cauliflower. We got beets, Swiss chard and beets in here. We got here. Baby cauliflower, I'll put up in the front. Hello. Hi, Rebecca. Happy Friday. How do you, if anyone has any tips on starting your seeds, let me know, your lettuce seeds. I typically grow them in, I usually sprinkle them in a container, but I want to have a little bit, oh, hold on. But I want to have a little bit more control over it this time, so I am going to try soil blocking them. It feels like a little much, but I do want to have a little bit more control over the germination rate. So this is, I got them pre-soaked here. Pre-soaked. This is this lettuce butterhead. Rebecca, do you happen to know off the top of your head? Oh, I know there are some cold season or frost hardy ones. I was just curious to know if there was like a rhyme or reason. I think I've heard romaine lettuce in general is the hardier. This is my first time winter gardening, right? So I haven't actually tried direct sowing a whole lot. Mostly I like control over what I do put. So like even the radishes, I soil blocked those as well. It was easier for me to keep track of them because I find that when I put them in the ground, the ants will come by and they'll disappear, or like it'll be rats in the case of the sugar snap peas or the winter snow peas. So let me think. The only thing I did direct sow was like garlic cloves. Even cilantro, I like to put in the pot because it's easier for me to harvest. The red and purple ones are hardier. Oh, okay, good to know. Did I get any of those? Let me see. Okay. Is that the same case you think for cabbage too? Let me see. Let me see. I got this one. Oh man, okay, I got another green one. I got more greens. No, not this one. Let's see. Hello, welcome. I got collards, okay, cucumbers and sunny, and cabbage. I didn't get any red ones. Well, I guess that's another excuse to go to the store and see. Like mezclun, right? The red one, the green red one. I'll try that. Most romaine. Oh, okay, good to know. It is for kale. Okay. Okay. I'll check that out. Most romaine is warm weather. Okay. I mean, I didn't get warm weather, so that's good. I just got arugula. Do you consider arugula warm weather too? Good morning. Good morning, Black Boy Ho. Happy Friday. Do you consider, Rebecca, do you consider arugula more warm season crop too? I'm just trying to figure out here. So I was going to plant some lettuce seeds with you guys, and I had them pre-soaking here. I was just asking Rebecca, because Rebecca, you seem quite knowledgeable. And I wanted to figure out which lettuces were going to be hardier. I hear some of the lettuces are more resistant or cold resistant. So I was just trying to figure out what those were. In general, it looks like Rebecca's saying anything that's red or purple. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of those. All I got last time were, so not colors, this lettuce. And I also got this butter crunch lettuce. And I got, what was this? Oh, radishes. And I also got arugula. Let me see. Yeah, well, whatever. We're just gonna, it's all an experiment. I'll let you guys know. We'll keep you guys posted on how it all goes. But for now, I did go ahead and plant, or rather, I pre-soaked this one. Good day. What else I have to show today? Oh, I do have one I think this is either Swiss chard or beets. I lost track. But that's what's in here. They've sprouted. They took a little bit longer to sprout. I think it's because I didn't realize that even warm season crops need ideal temperatures between 50 to 70. But now I realize that I've been protecting these. So you'll see, you see that there? See these? These are either Swiss chard or beets. I don't remember. Swiss chard or beets. But as soon as the true leaves form, I'll be able to better tell. Because beets tend to have that distinctive look about their leaves. Okay, Rebecca, good. Arugula is cold with protection. Yeah, isn't it exciting? I planted a bunch in here, so I'm expecting a bunch to come up. I did use leaves to try to mulch, so that you could do that, or you could also do wood chips. I just did leaves because these are, I think I was thinking leaves would be easier and would allow the seeds to still come up, whereas mulch tends to weigh them down. So that's why I did this for these. We still got our green onions, and they're making progress. If you guys haven't already grown green onions before, they're making progress here. Finally, the little green bits are coming. This is good. I will probably eventually need to put them into a bigger pot though, because I think the roots of green onions do still grow about 3-4 inches, so it'll eventually outgrow this. But for now, when it comes to small space gardening, you size up as you need, right? Size up as you need. So that's what we'll do here. These are green onions that I bought from the store, chopped off the bottom and planted in soil. So that's here. We got, this is my cauliflower. This one's a little bit tinier still. It's fine. How is it doing in there? Soil is still moist. This is why we use pine needles. These are the neighbors' leaves, the pine needles, as well as leaves from their yard. I'm about to go knock this weekend on my other neighbors, so I'll ask if I can help collect their pine leaves. I prefer pine leaves. It smells good, and it's easier to sprinkle, and it's finer than some of the bigger black leaves. Like, see this? This I might be afraid would block some sun, although it would probably still let in 50% light, whereas like these are much finer, more straw-like. So when you get picky about these things, you start to differentiate between what is a good mulch, or what is a good mulch, and what is a better mulch, which is this straw here. Rebecca, you say, watch the Millennial Gardener. He gives great greens advice. Okay, Millennial Gardener. Okay. I'm assuming on YouTube. Look at this cilantro. It's like growing, the leaves are growing really big. Ooh, I need to get these soon. I need to harvest. I already did initial harvest of these, and I think I mentioned before, but these are probably 6 weeks old. Okay, thank you, Rebecca. And then garlic, this garlic's growing really well. I wanted to show that you can grow garlic in containers as well, because I've actually never done it before. It made sense that I'd be able to do it though, so that's what I got here. Okay. Happy Friday. You guys have any exciting plans this weekend? So here, we're gonna start these. I gotta actually get my soil block together. I was hoping to get these done in advance so I'd have a soil block to already work with, but that did not happen. So here we go, I'm doing it on screen as we chit chat here. Oh, there's radishes that I wanted to show you guys. What do y'all think? He's short, he's about 5 hours north of me. Oh, okay, excellent. Okay. And Rebecca, you're in like 8B, right? 8B, right? Okay, hang on. I'm gonna grab my daikon so I can show you guys what that looks like. It's still hot out here. Ooh. 7, zone 7. Okay, Millennial Gardener. I'm excited. I'll check that out. Let me grab my radishes. Excuse me. This is the daikon radishes. It got really, I can see if you look at the bottom, do you see how there's like little roots, little white roots? That's how I realized yesterday that this is time to be planted in the ground. Not to mention the leaves are really big. I think I showed you guys this like 2 days ago. Well, I realized that I definitely need to be planting it now. Sansevieria. They look so good, right? These are daikon radishes. I also look like I got a, oh, I have this wood chip here. It also looks like I got someone nibbling in here as well. I got someone nibbling in here as well. Yeah, so I finally planted like a few of these, but I gotta get the rest of these in the ground soon. Rebecca, have you found yourself watering much? I'm like wondering if I should water more. It's been, I usually aim to water at least once a week. At least once a week of water, but I think I might actually need to water more than that. Either that, or I mentioned to you guys I plan to mulch my entire front lawn as well as side and backyard sometime over winter break. So around Christmas time is when we're gonna be mulching it. And the time being though, I'm wondering if I need to water a little bit more. I harvested some of my Napa cabbage leaves, the outer leaves, yesterday, and they were a little bit tough. So either I waited too long or I needed to be more consistent about watering. It was a little bit fibrous. But yep. I'm just looking at you. Nice. Okay, we're gonna work. I am using my soil here. You'll see it's like a, I have to get stats to this, but like it's usually a mix of my compost as well as native soil. That's what I use here. I think I'm a 9 A and B. Oh, you are, Rebecca. Oh, no. Oh. I'll need to check the new map. I don't think mine changed though. I think I'm still 8A. And that's how it is, right? It's generally that the closer to the coast you are, the more temperate the climate, right? So even though you could be at a higher latitude than I would, so even though you can be farther from the equator, if you're close to the coast, you can still be pretty temperate. That's how it works, right? Because even people in Long Island, there are people in Long Island who are in my same zone. That's like pretty far north, latitude-wise at least. We gotta go here. We're gonna go here. Ugh, I'm getting pretty hot here today. So I'm gonna fill this. Fill. Rebecca, what do you mostly direct? I forget. Rebecca, what about you? Do you mostly direct sow? Black boy ho. When or if you start, you could just start with containers initially because that's how most everybody starts, and you learn what you like or don't like about it. Like for cilantro or coriander, you just plant those directly in the pot, like I do here. And when it comes to planting in the pots, I think the only thing you kind of need to think about is the depth or the soil, depth of soil that you need. And you'll gradually learn that over time. But like cilantro, for instance, has a really long taproot. And the way I like to remember that is because some of the Asian soups will use cilantro root to flavor. So that's how you know it's got like a long root. So typically I will find for cilantro a container like this where it's 7 to 8 inches deep to allow the taproot to grow in. So that's what I'll do for cilantro. And yeah, of course, never have any exposed soil. So I always like do mulch over. I try to mulch after the seeds have already broke the surface though, if I can manage. Or I do a really fine mulch like I was describing with the leaves here, or the pine needles. One that's really easy to brush aside or for the seeds to easily push through. Rebecca, you're saying the Farmer's Almanac was amazingly accurate for... Oh, I'll have to check to see how mine was. Because this year we got our first frost a little bit earlier than I expected. I will check that. Hello, Anj. Welcome. I prefer to direct sow almost everything in ground. Oh, okay. Okay, Rebecca. I've historically done that, and then I just noticed that like my seeds would start disappearing, or that I would forget what I planted where. So I am like, that's why I'm trying the soil blocking thing. I can also kind of see how germination goes. I know, for instance, my onions, the bulbing onions germination was not very good at all, but it could have also been because we have like, I'm using seeds that are potentially over a year old. And according to Gary, he's sharing that onion seeds in particular lose viability very quickly relative to other seeds like tomatoes or even, or peppers. So I'm like, okay. Either that or I probably needed to pre-soak them. I didn't pre-soak them, so that could have been my other thing. But yeah, once you pre-soak it, there's like no excuse for your seed to germinate. Pre-soaking is like ensuring your seeds are getting the hydration they need in order to break out of their outer shell. So no excuses now for my lettuce seeds to pop up. Hello, nice to see you again, Flipper. Good day. Happy Friday. We are planting lettuce seeds here today. I learned that lettuce was a lot cold hardier than I thought. I thought it was only going to be just below freezing, but it looks like it can be down to 20, some varieties. So I plan to figure out which ones those are. I think on ChatGPT, they do list some of the varieties, and I didn't look at that before I went to go buy mine. So, I will go compare and then potentially go buy those additional more hardy varieties just for experiment purposes. Happy Friday, Stetson. Oops. We are attempting to grow food here. I'm attempting winter garden in my freezing zone. Zone 8A. It is nice and warm today. It's going to be a high of 67, I believe. But it does get down to freezing in my zone, down to down 10 degrees Fahrenheit in February, our coldest month. I am wanting to plant some lettuce seeds. I learned that lettuce seeds are actually a lot hardier than I thought. I thought it was just below freezing, but sounds like it can be as low as 20. There's certain varieties though. I don't know if I got the right ones, but I'm about to go look it up and confirm. And also experiment. And forgive me here, I just had my eyes dilated, so I gotta look a little bit harder than normal. Rebecca, you're saying, I have cared for some plants that lived past summer into spring, but this is my first time attempting it. Other than peas. Right, Rebecca? I'm so excited too. Yeah, okay, so this is yours. Yeah. This is also my first time attempting it. The only thing I've grown before in the past is garlic and onions. Have you at least done garlic and onions before, Rebecca? But those are like truly low maintenance. Like you plant it and then forget about it for the most part. Aunt, hi, happy Friday. Yeah, likes to eat healthy. Yes, also likes to try to grow my own food because I think it's possible. I'm hopeful that I'm able to grow it more cleanly than what you can buy in the store. I definitely do a lot of grocery shopping still though, so don't take that. I do also think it's very exciting to grow your own food as well, and then also be able to cook it. Just be able to walk out and grab a really fresh lettuce head. That is my goal. I am a 5th-year gardener now, and this will be my first year attempting to winter garden in my freezing zone. Historically, I've only grown garlic and onions before, but those are pretty low maintenance crops. So if you haven't grown garlic, this is what it looks like. If you plant the cloves, the individual clove, the clove is essentially the seed of a garlic. You plant an individual clove and it'll give you a bulb. It grows over 9 months. This is what it looks like. And if you can kind of tell by the blade, it's like relatively thin but thick and leathery. So this doesn't require greenhouse. It can withstand snow, sleet, rain. Even in Canada, they grow garlic. They just grow a specific type called a hardneck garlic, which is more suitable to northern climates, and mulch. Put a bed of mulch, straw mulch really heavily to cover the developing bulb. So garlic I've grown before for a couple of years now. Onions as well. I don't have my onions over here today, but they're really fine right now. I grew them from seed for the first time this year as well. Historically, I've always bought them sets, which are basically baby onions that you can get in January. They're about pencil thick. But this is the first year I'm growing them from seed. So right now they're like very, very fine. Almost like onion chive size. Good morning, Jackie. Happy Friday. Flipper, you didn't expect lettuce to, yes, I didn't realize so either, Flipper. So I want to see it firsthand. Um, and actually, now I think about it, I feel like I've seen other creators who do show that, but they're in colder climates. I'm excited to be able to see that firsthand, though. Aunt, you're saying, okay, Aunt, okay, we already talked about it. Rebecca, something digs it up. Lol. Now the dog's babysitting the. That's cute, Rebecca. Digs up your garlic. Is that what you're saying? So Rebecca, Jackie was saying her dog dug it up, and then she had to check to make sure that her dog wasn't going to get sick. The garlic, right, Rebecca? Jackie, you said your dog dug it up. In my case, I have seen rats dig up my garlic. And I know this because it disappeared overnight. It wasn't during the day. It was an unsprouted garlic though. So Rebecca, it was kind of like me going back to saying like, when I started sprouting stuff in containers because that way I could actually like see what was going on, better monitor it. And when I noticed that one of my garlics, the unsprouted one, disappeared overnight, I immediately knew it was a rat. I mean, I think about it like this. If it's edible for us, it's probably edible for rats as well in that state. Maybe when it's sprouted, it's not as tasty, so they won't dig this up. But if it's unsprouted, the rats will eat it. The rats also really like snow peas and sugar peas. So I planted a whole pot full of them. I feel like I've told you guys this before, but again, I planted a whole pot full of peas, like 30 or something, and they disappeared all overnight. All overnight. Anyway, so that's why I started being a little bit more conscientious about my seeds and growing them and starting them in containers, making sure they sprout before I then put it in ground. Yeah, Jackie, not good for dogs. Jackie, you're saying, I believe it can cause kidney failure or liver failure. Wow. Porque no los dos. Jackie, yeah, you're Spanish. Oh, I remember I used to say that phrase all the time. Porque no los dos? Why not the both? All right. Yeah, so we're just filling it here. You have, Rebecca, you're saying, I have raised beds, keep the dogs out, and they patrol between the raised beds in the field. Okay, do you have something to put over your raised beds though? So like, is it possible that the rats still dig? I'm almost thinking like you need something like chicken wire. Oh, so then what I would do at night is I would like, when I had my garlic in here and it hadn't sprouted yet, I would take this and I would like put it over it. That's how I physically protected my containers from the rats digging it up. And then I also put garlic in ground, but it's far enough out in the street that the rats, I find, but the rats probably find it unsafe to be so out in the open. So those I wasn't as worried about, but my containers are closer to the house and they have more coverage. So they get a little bit more bold and start digging around. So that's something I observed. Let's see. Flipper, you're saying, do you think either of your parents influenced your... Oh yeah, no, it was definitely on my own. Both my parents were working parents, and yeah, did not have the time to grow anything. I'll tell you, actually, the Flipper, the inspiration was I composted before I started a garden. I think I was really passionate about, if these things are gonna stink up my trash, why don't I put it back in the earth rather than having it stink up my trash? So that's actually where I got started. But that was the closest thing I did first that was kind of related to gardening. I didn't actually grow my own food though. I think it was more about putting those nutrients back into the earth. And from there, one day I saw a cherry tomato that had gone bad. It sprouted out of my compost pile. And then I ate the tomatoes from that, and that was when I think it finally clicked in my head, oh, like it's not that hard to grow your own food, right? And so that was the first seed that was planted in my head. It took me a couple of years before I actually acted on it, specifically COVID, but that was how I got started. It was just from watching a cherry tomato grow in my compost, give me fruit, and that was my inspiration to not only continue composting, but then also to start gardening as well. Let's see, Jackie, what are you saying? I do need bigger pots, but since it's really my first year, yay, I can't. Yes. And Jackie, actually what I've heard is people, I know this is getting a little warm. I'm just gonna take off my sweater here. It's getting, I hear people are often giving away like free pots on Facebook Marketplace. So maybe you could check that out. I feel like gardening is one of those things where, like any hobby, you start and then you got to continue going though, at least till the third year. Because the third year is kind of, especially if you're going outside, third year is when your ecosystem starts to balance out. So, and I feel like it's so easy to give up early. Anyway, but as a result, I feel like there's always a lot of people giving away their gardening stuff. So you should check Facebook Marketplace and see if you can snag some pots for free. Like these are just all pots that I don't know, I've saved over the years from various things. Also taken from my parents' house whenever they don't use it and whatnot. Oh, am I wearing this backwards? Okay, no. I thought I was wearing my shirt backwards. Let's see. It's still pretty sunny. Let's see. You do need. Rebecca, you're saying it's probably squirrels where my. Oh, squirrels. Okay, good to know. Rebecca, I go to construction sites and ask for the pots. I love that, Rebecca. Rebecca is especially resourceful. Love it. So, Jackie, if you want to go and look for construction sites. I had no idea about the ecos. Oh, yeah. Okay, so like, Jackie, I think what I want to describe is there's this saying called first year the garden sleeps, second year the garden reaps, third year the garden leaps. Did I say that right? But I've also translated that into, so it's a couple of things. It's like your garden becoming established, but for me on a more tangible level, it's about balancing your ecosystem. So like the first year is when you have you planted lots of vegetables, maybe you even got it directly from the garden store. So suddenly there's a lot of green vegetables everywhere. Well, when there's a lot of supply, what happens? There's also a lot of pests that come, like garden pests in particular. So first year gardeners are often discouraged, me, myself included. First year gardeners are initially discouraged just because there's so many garden pests. But then second year, what happens? The birds and the predator bugs realize, oh, there is greens over here, and because of the greens there are garden pests, and guess what? Garden pests are what I enjoy eating. So then the second year your birds come and they start realizing, oh, okay, this is like a place to have food. Or like your bees start to come because they recognize, remember this place as a place that gave them food prior year. And then third year is when it all truly balances out. Another example is I often hear people who start their own farms. And so they'll say things like, we grew a lot of microgreens, but unfortunately all the slugs came. So then the farm would then acquire ducks who will then eat the slugs. So at the end of the day, it's like, it really is about building up an ecosystem for you, for like the pests to be managed by your bug eating pests. And then lastly, the big predator birds that will then, or the birds in general who will help eat those pests. It really is like a whole ecosystem that you have to build up. Anyway, Rebecca, let me know your experience. Like, have you noticed what has been your experience? So yeah, if you're going to garden, I would say always go at least until the third year, because the third year is when everything balances out. Jackie, you say I'm in the San Antonio area. There are no store. Nope, there are no shortages, especially after a lot of Californians and New Yorkers started moving to Texas. No. But yes, let me know what you guys think. I get pots. Rebecca, you're saying I get pots from the Lowe's recycling drop-off. Do you? Lowe's has a recycling drop-off? Okay, I'm gonna go check that out. Lowe's has a recycling drop-off. Okay. Wow, okay, nice. I'll have to go check that out. My Lowe's is not that close to me. I mean, okay, I say not that close. It's just a little bit farther of a drive, but I will go check that out. I actually meant to go check to see if Lowe's had seeds. I've heard Lowe's is carrying seeds right now, but I didn't get a chance to stop in, so I'll check that out as well. Rebecca, you're saying, and on trash day in the spring, people put pots out for trash. Yes, that's a great one. That's a great one. Yeah, sometimes people have like really nice clay pots that they'll put out for like bulk trash. Although you kind of just gotta get lucky with that one. I'm not like constantly walking around my neighborhood, so I wouldn't, or even in other neighborhoods, so I wouldn't have as close tabs on that. But yes, that's a great idea. Right? Always ask management first. Okay, good to know, Rebecca. Yeah, that makes sense. Random, but that reminds me of dumpster diving. Are you guys familiar with that? Like dumpster diving? I think the first time I was exposed to it was a decade ago. You could like dumpster dive for. There was this one lady. She would dumpster dive for food that had recently expired. This was in New York. and then she would like serve the food to her guests that would come over and dine. Anyway. Nice, Jackie. Okay, so where is my containers? I got a few containers. I'm gonna get my container here real quick. Hang on. I'll pause it for a second because I gotta go step over there to grab a container real quick. Let me pause. Not this one, wrong one. I meant to pause the video for a second. Okay. Back with my container. Pots. I'm excited to check out Lowe's now. Rebecca, you're such a great resource. And then the free seed libraries, right? Jackie, let me know if you, or any of you guys, let me know if you guys ever visit your free seed library or know where it is. I'm just curious to know, like, what do you guys find? Like, how extensive is it? I did a video where I showed you the closest one to me, but I also plan to explore other free seed libraries in the area. Specifically like one closer to Dallas as well, because I've heard that Dallas has a very extensive free seed library that is associated with the actual city libraries. So I'm excited to explore that. I think I'll be bringing, remember all those carrot seeds I harvested? I'll be sharing carrot seeds the next time I do the visit. Rebecca, I'm gonna be like you, just carrying my seeds everywhere, because who knows, maybe I'll stumble upon a free seed library and be able to trade for something. I'm putting this here. These are a little bit drier than I would like. It'll work though. Let's see, what are you saying? Hi Gautam, good to see you again. Happy Friday. You want to see how things are growing? Let's show you how things are growing. This is cilantro. You remember the cilantro from before? This is our cilantro from before. I've already harvested it once. It is now, I think, 6-7 weeks old. And it's about time to harvest again, especially since some of the leaves are getting a little bit big. And we have the cauliflower, baby cauliflower. What else? I was gonna start some lettuce seeds here. I learned that lettuce seeds are frost hardy. Potentially even below 20 degrees, or at or below 20 degrees, certain varieties. So I wanna explore that. I also have some Swiss chard or beets started. They're very tiny still, but they're in here. You see the little sprouts here. Swiss chard or beets. And then, yeah, these are radishes, daikon radishes, but same idea. These are ready to go in the ground. And I know because I can see the roots reaching the bottom here. Now ideally, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Get these in the ground today. Yes, Gotham, I know it's late for you guys, India time. Thanks for hanging out and saying hi, though. Gotham, your father-in-law is a farmer too. That's exciting, Gotham. I am not a farmer, just a gardener, but always learning a lot from farmers. Jackie, thank you for helping moderate. Hi, Black Boy Ho. It says for me to say hi, so I'm gonna say hi. Say hi. How do I add that? How do I say hi? Okay, Becky and Rebecca, you're saying Becky Hart's dumpster diving. I love it. I love it, Rebecca. I haven't actually done it myself. I think I still feel really weird about digging in someone else's trash, right? Maybe the closest I'll get, I'm gonna start with this Lowe's Recycling Center and asking the manager first. And then we'll see how far. How cool, Becky. I love that. Jackie, you're saying pretty normal. We don't, but we did snag a free dryer from someone's yard a few years back. It was awesome. Awesome. Good morning, David. Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, so here we are. What were we saying? Gautam, my father is a lot. Okay, so you're saying Gautam, they are seed groundnuts, grains, wheat, rice. Ah, like a grain farmer. How cool. Even fruits and all vegetables. Oh, how beautiful. You guys are growing a bunch of things. That's awesome. I just know that farmers and monocultures, like when you only plant one type of crop, monocrops, that's when it's depleting on the soil. And that's why it's important to practice crop rotation, even in your small garden. One, to manage the pests so they don't come back year after year and attack your same crops because they know its position, but also so you don't continue to deplete the soil in that area of the same type of nutrients by planting the same crops over and over again. And then of course, having biodiversity even within a small area is really important to bring all types of pollinators and birds and just wildlife in general. So yeah, love it, Gautam, that he is planting many crops, not just one. And yeah, awesome. Rebecca, in buckets on the side of the roads. I love it. I always ask, Rebecca, yes. Yeah, like you cannot go wrong if you ask first, right? You cannot go wrong. At worst, they'll just say no, but at least you asked. And if someone is like, what are you doing? You say, I already asked. Yes. Oh, Rebecca, you've been to India? Awesome. I have not. Gautam, these all crops you are planting for... Oh, no. Oh, just in my home garden, Gautam. No, I'm not planning to sell these. I don't have enough volume to sell. I'm just growing it for my own home consumption. Thank you for asking. Rebecca, you're saying... Not always. Jay. Respectful when you need to be. Respectful when you need to be. Bombay and Bangalore. Oh, awesome. How awesome, Rebecca. Gotcha, I'd like to see your... Yay! Yeah, my crops. I use the word crops very loosely, but I'm like a gardener and I like have I'm just growing in my front lawn. Like there's not acres and acres of land. My entire property is 0.13 of an acre, okay? Just so you guys have an idea. 0.13 of an acre. So not very big at all. Black Boy Ho, if you had a tree that could grow anything in the world, Oh yeah, Black Boy, yeah, you were asking me about this. We were talking about trees the last time, right? And I said, if you're gonna start anything, let it be a tree, because they always say plant a tree yesterday. The trees, like we talked about, are low maintenance. You just have to prune them every winter just to keep them small, if you want to. I mean, I think most people just try to keep their fruit trees small because it means they can have other types of fruits as well, not just that one fruit. That was tricky. That's tricky, Black Boy Ho. I wouldn't want just one tree though. I would want multiple trees, which is why it's called, you can do like mini orchards, which is where you prune your trees really small. Rebecca, what do you have growing? And do you do like mini orchard, or like do you keep them small and pruned? What do you have any fruit trees? But I, for instance, like if I just share what I have growing, I have like I'm not gonna go through the store-bought ones because I don't actually have fruit. Well, I did have fruit on my peach tree that I grew from a store-bought seed. So okay, I'll count that. But I didn't actually eat any yet. So hopefully this next year it'll have more and I'll actually be able to show a small harvest. And then I have figs. So figs are a good one, just because they're so pricey to also buy in store as well. What else? I have a pear tree that was here before we were. The pears are okay tasting, not the best, but edible. What else? I have a pluri tree. Sorry, I just spit. I have a pluri tree. It is a hybrid between a plum and a cherry tree. So it's like a small plum is essentially what it is. And that one's pretty good. I like had one fruit 2 years ago. Literally had one fruit. The thing about some of the stone fruits, they need enough chill hours, and so it kind of depends on our winter and if we had enough chill hours and whether we'll get fruit or not. And then like an early frost, if the flowers start to open but frost comes along, that could potentially kill off your fruits as well. So Rebecca, you have potted fruit trees at the farm. How beautiful. Okay. Rebecca, you're saying my mother is a flight attendant benefit. Oh, how awesome, Rebecca. Very awesome. Gotham, as a sustainable initiatives, I have planted 3,000 trees wow. How cool, Gotham. That is awesome. I love that. I am definitely all about sustainability as well. Yeah, no shortcuts, right? I mean, everything like takes time, and I feel like when we take shortcuts, we end up using non-natural ways, and that is ultimately harmful in the long run. Hello, welcome. Welcome. I can speak English. I am in North Texas, the USA, and I'm attempting to winter garden in my freezing zone. Is it Poland? Oh, I'm not very good with flags, forgive me. Oh, Poland. Yeah, okay, thank you. Welcome from Poland. Rebecca, I have a King Kong sized fig tree that is, ooh, okay, yeah, mine is a fig that I pruned into a shrub because I wanted to keep it small. I didn't want it to cover my front window. So yeah, I could definitely, when it comes to fig trees, you can definitely keep them pruned small. You just gotta be aggressive with your pruning. Like I was, in summertime, I was cutting it back like every 3 weeks, pinching it off constantly. And that's why my fig tree is only about like 4 feet tall. Gotham. It's not, okay, yeah. I grow in my front yard. Okay, yeah. I did a tour before. Hang on. I have, I was gonna start these lettuce. Here, hang on. What were we gonna say? Okay, Black Boy Ho, you were asking about trees. I don't know, so it depends on like what you enjoy eating. What do you, I mean, that's what I personally find. You could think about it as like what you enjoy eating, or you could also think about it as like trees that are, or fruits that are more expensive in stores and that you'd have a better return on investment if you grew at home. So there's a couple ways to think about it. Those are some of the names I named off. Okay, so I grow in my front yard, right? I don't usually do like a pan through, but here, because it's mostly mulched over, and I do like a wild style, because I have this sign here. I'll show you this. I have to show you the sign first, because this is what you should expect. So I'm a certified wildlife habitat, and I still have crops. So that is trash. It looks like trash, but it's not. It's to cover my Napa cabbage, and I'll show you guys in a little. But these are beans that have died, and I've yet to clear away. But technically, according to the certified wildlife habitat, I'm supposed to leave it there to give coverage for wildlife to overwinter in. So something to think about. Okay. Do you do Texas King fig? Marcus, no, I don't. I don't know what type of fig I have. The fig I have is one that my neighbor gave me. I'll show you guys in a little. But yeah, so this is the street that I live on. It's my city's technically urban, but I guess it looks more suburban because it looks like there's more space. And like this is my neighbor's tree, the one that I can't wait for it to drop all its leaves. One, so I can use it as compost. I think it's an oak. And I've heard people warn me not to use oak leaves, but is it true? I don't know. Is there any real validity to not using oak? But yeah, I'm waiting for all of these leaves to drop. One, so I can get the sun back in my front yard, because there will be a 2-hour period in the morning where that tree blocks all of the sun. And then two, I'm waiting to collect all those leaves for the compost and to use throughout the season as dried browns. Marcos, what kind of soil do you use for my compost? Soil? Oh, so I do hot, what I would consider hot composting. So I don't put soil in it. If you did vermicomposting, I guess that would make sense. Vermicomposting referring to using earthworms in your compost, but I do a hot composting. So I only put scraps, like kitchen scraps, which are greens, or grass clippings, which are greens, and mix it with my browns, which are leaves, tree leaves from my neighbors, or cardboard. I'll also use the paper carton from your eggs. I will also use that as well. So I don't typically put soil in it. Gotham, you're saying I'm vegetarian, so always having fruits and vegetables. Oh, yummy. Okay, Gotham, awesome. So I'll show you guys now. Okay. The problem with oaks is that it takes a long time. Okay. I've heard this as well. Good to know. Well, I will at least use it as mulch then. But if I run out, I might just use, like, look how many leaves my neighbor is gonna have. Anyway, yeah, so mostly I'm excited about getting the sun back in my front yard, but also look at all that leaves there. Okay. Oh, I muted. Sorry, I did. So sorry, what I was saying was Napa, these are all my Napas here. I was talking about these being garlics and how I transplanted them, that's why they're struggling a little, but they'll adapt okay. And how these are, oh, this is my calendula. Ugh, someone definitely ate away at it. Oh, sorry. Someone definitely ate away at it. Super peeved. It's fine. And these are all my Napas here. I need to use this to cover it so they don't get so holy. Looks like these blew to the side though. Okay, and then I'll show you my bigger Napas over here. I did harvest the leaves earlier this week because I didn't want it to get too mature. I wanted the leaves to still be tender. I still found them a little bit fibrous though, so I either need to up my watering technique or harvest them earlier. But this is how this one's growing. I think it's gonna be at least another month and a half. One thing I'm learning about winter growing is that it takes like longer. Even if you have it in an optimal position, it's because the temperatures are not as ideal as it would be. So this is how I'm protecting it, and that's why the cabbage here looks good. Okay, bye, Gotham. Good night. Rebecca. Yeah, right? I think that's kind of my thought. Like, everything will break down in the compost, right? Even oak leaves. I've heard that. They have a lot of tannins, is what I hear. And I guess that's what, Marcos, you're saying will make them more difficult to break down. I could see how like earthworms might find it hard to break down, but if you got like a hot pile, I feel like it would still break down pretty quickly relative to, it was like, because leaves are so fine. Bye, Gotham. What else I got here? It's actually kind of warm today. What else I got? Well, since I was showing it, I guess I'll show the other things. I've been having to do this because you'll see like all my bok choy get eaten away. So I'm having to do this. Oops, like see that one. That one got eaten away. I haven't even eaten any of the bok choy yet. So I've been trying to use this. Like this one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go sit down back over there. I also need to get some water and feeling a little lightheaded. Okay. Oh, and I have like a few more minutes to hang out here before I wrap today. I'll hang out for like another 2. Thank you. Thank you guys for ooh, zoomed in way too much. Okay. Oak is great for blueberry plants. Oh, that's a good point, Rebecca. Because blueberries like acidity. Okay. Great idea. I'm gonna be using, yeah, that's a great idea, Rebecca. Because of the acidity levels, I just know that blueberry need acidic soil. Excellent. Okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot I had a blueberry plant. What about a pecan tree? I don't have room for a pecan tree, Jonathan. I love the idea of it, but you know how big those trees get? Those trees are too big and I don't have the space for it, unfortunately. I will though, in a lot of the Texas parks, they do have pecan trees in the park, so I'll go forage next October. I tried to go this year, but I mistimed it. I like went in November, and by that time, all of the pecans have already fallen. So next year, I need to remember to go in October, and I'll just go forage at the local parks for pecans. Pecans are too big to have on like on my property at least. And yeah, oh, good point, Rebecca. Pecans need cleared ground to produce well. Thank you, Black Boyo. Yeah, so Black Boy would, about fruit trees, like berries are always really popular, right? So maybe do berries, and berries expensive by the pound, and they also don't transport well. I mean, it's like, or what I mean is, you always have to have like the padded containers for them. So maybe berries is, and everybody loves berries, right? So Black Boy, maybe like think about that, like berries to start with. Although often berries are, they're not really trees, huh? They're more shrubs or canes. Blackberries grow on canes, and raspberries also grow on canes as well. Blueberries is a shrub. Mine is like this big. That's very tiny. I'm just glad it's still alive. I've been raising it for 2 years now. It's like this big. I gotta figure out what to do about that one. You have 4. Wow, Jonathan. Oh, okay, how awesome. I love that. I'm jealous. Rebecca, and the leaves are not good for gardens nor oh, interesting, Rebecca. Jonathan, I guess I could use my swamp oak. Oh, perfect. Pecan, yeah, pecan leaves. Nice. Okay, pecan leaves. I don't know, yeah. I love that you guys are so technical and you like know these details, but I'm like, when did certain types of leaves really become like bad for compost? But yes, I've definitely heard that though. Oaks, and now Rebecca, you're saying pecan leaves are less ideal as well. Good to know. But yeah, so Black Boy Ho, consider that. I did berry, maybe start with like berries. Although now that I think about it, yeah, no, still get a tree. I don't know, just think about what you find tasty. I have figs, if that helps. Like I said, fig, any kind of like fruit that's tender and needs lots of cushioning to be transported. Those would be ones you should consider. Mulberries is a good example. Mulberries are kind of like blackberries, but they're much more fragile, which is why you never see them sold at the grocery stores because they don't transport well. So here's where home gardening gets really fun, right? You get to grow crops that other people don't find in the store because they don't fit the long transport requirements or don't keep well in the store. So here's where you should kind of, if you're curious to like capitalize on that, I would look into fruits and vegetables that you typically cannot find in the store for that reason, and that's when gardening can get really fun. Tromboncino squash, for instance, I grew that earlier this summer, and it's a pretty productive crop. It's kind of like a zucchini. What did they say? It is supposedly pest resistant for squash vine borers, which is notorious for killing pumpkins, zucchinis. So I grew that this summer. And I learned that because of its weird shape, it grows like this and oblong, and like it's kind of like a butternut squash but grows funkier. They don't sell it in the store as a result. So it's like, it's there where like home gardening can give you produce that you cannot find in the stores. Like blue bananas. Yes, Jackie. Yes, Jackie, blue bananas, yeah. Nice, Rebecca. You use oak leaves but not pecan. Okay, good to know. I wish I could grow bananas and kiwis. You can, right? Black Boy, you're in California. You can. I think you could. You just might need to keep it well watered. You're in California, right? When could you not grow anything? When could you not grow anything? Oh, sorry, Black Boy Ho. I think for some reason, I thought you were, forgive me. Yeah, I thought you were in California for some reason. Okay. Phoenix, how cool. Couldn't you? You would just need to water it well. At least you don't have freezing temps like I do, though. What is that? Oh, there is a bug on my wall. Okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap for today, but I'll catch you guys next Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. And Black Boy, it was good to have you. Normally we don't have you. I've like only seen you in my garden tours, but glad to see you here as well. Yeah. Okay, everybody, have a great weekend and take care. Thank you guys for hanging out and for today's conversation. I meant to plant the lettuce seeds. I will do that, and we'll see how they grow. Everybody, take care. Have a great day. I'm flattered, Black Boy. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you, Flipper. Take care. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody be well.